Hello everyone. Welcome to this session. I'll be sharing my screen. I have some slides prepared for all of you. So wait, I'll just share my screen. Is my screen visible to everybody?
Yes.
In starting, we'll be covering some JavaScript basics that will be required to understand React. So let's start. First, we'll be covering let versus const versus var. Okay, so this is the basic understanding. The last 2 points are very important to understand. That is redeclaration within the scope and reassignment within the scope. If you have done somewhat of JavaScript, you must be knowing all these differences, but it's just for like understanding so that we can cover it again. So we have like redeclaration within the scope. With var, it is possible, but with let and const, we cannot redeclare within the scope. But we can reassign let and const, it's also not allowed. So I'll be going to the next slide. Bare and blank return statements. So as you can see, this statement return div would be interpreted as this. There is automatic semicolon insertion in that. So this is what we can see, and then we have the bare or blank return statement. The version that will work is this. We can use return and we can wrap it inside a bracket so that it returns the div. Okay. uh, these small things actually are very important, as we'll continuously get errors if we don't remember these points. Okay. Then we have destructuring assignment with objects. So this is the long version without destructuring, as you can see on the screen. And the version with destructuring assignment is this. Okay. So please make a note of that. Instead of writing these 3 lines again, we are writing just this. Okay. This one line, and it automatically does all these 3 statements. Okay. Then we have this imports and exports. This is see, this is like just the syntax for importing anything from any module in React. We'll see what are modules and all in the upcoming part. So this is the function that will be, this type of function will be creating in React, and we need to export it from any module. So this is the basic syntax of that. It is basically, we have function based components everywhere in React, and we'll be following this structure. Okay, everything will get clear as we move forward with the session. Okay. Then we have this arrow functions. As you can see, it's just basic syntax. You can declare a function like this, function main, or you can use an arrow function. The work is just same at the beginning level. The function is just same. It's just a new method that was introduced recently in the JavaScript. Okay. So now we'll move on to React. So what is React? React is a very famous JavaScript framework. It is used for front-end web development, and it is created by Meta. Okay, and it's famous for implementing a virtual DOM. Okay, next up, these are the common tasks that we require to do in front-end web development. We need to use app state. We need to have some we need to handle events. We need to have some templates and render HTML templates. We have routing, and we have data fetching through APIs. We'll be covering it all in today's session. So let's start with fundamentals of React. So in the fundamentals of React, we can see we have JavaScript and HTML in the same file, commonly known as JSX. What does JSX stand for? JSX stands for JavaScript XML. Okay, so we'll be writing HTML and JavaScript in the same file. We have functional programming everywhere. We'll declare functions and use them again and again. We'll be calling functions, and we have components everywhere in React. Okay, so basically this was the traditional approach. We had a HTML file, we had a CSL file, and we had a JavaScript file. All these 3 files were independent of each other, and they were linked internally in the HTML file itself. Okay, but with React approach, we have a JSX file, and the CSS file is also there. So this is JSX, the React programming language. as you can see, we have the example, we have a very basic example here. We have declared a const. Const is just like, you can see, a variable, but the value cannot be changed. Yes, obviously. And then we also can declare Java. This is basically JavaScript XML. As you can see, we have written some HTML code here in the span tag, and in these curly braces, we are using JavaScript variables. Okay, so this is basically what we call as JavaScript XML. Okay, when we use these curly braces, we are basically saying React that we are going to use some JavaScript here. Inside curly braces, we can write JavaScript. Okay, so you can understand React. It is just like JavaScript, nothing very fancy or new. Okay, functional programming. So functions are called as first class citizens. As you can see here, we have a function. Console.log is basically, you can think it like a print statement, but here we don't directly print it to the browser. Instead, we just log it into the console of the browser. Okay, so we have these two functions. So as you can see, the functions can be saved as variables, they can be passed as arguments, and they can also be returned from functions. We can also return a function from within a function. So these are the things that we can do with React and JavaScript. So functions are immutable. So as you can see, if I basically, this is redeclaration in the first paragraph. We have let a equal to 4, and then we are redeclaring it. So we are mutating it. Basically, the value is changed. Okay. So in this, we are basically using, so this triple dot b. This is very important. As you can see, dot 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 b. This is known as spread operator. What is this? Basically, this thing copies this whole value 1, 2, 3 here instead of this spread operator. Okay, so it's very simple. You'll understand it when we move on. Okay, so let's start with creating a React app. Okay, so first you need to install Node.js in your system. So you can
question,
yes,
what
sir.
were these function returning? So I request all the students to please interact. Okay, whenever you have a question, please ask me. There was a question that what
Yes,
were
sir.
these function returning?
Sir, I was asking that on the function slide, what were those functions returning? Like, I didn't find a return statement.
These functions are not returning anything. I'll be creating some functions, and I'll return some JavaScript XML code. You'll understand it when we move on. These functions are just for, like, you can say it's for just for your understanding that how we can use functions. Okay.
Okay, thank you.
So next up, we'll be creating a new React app. So first, you need to install Node.js in your system, and you can go to a new tab and write Node.js. Okay, and we'll click on this Node.js first link, nodejs.org. You can download Node.js LTS version from here and install it. Okay, it's very simple. There is nothing much involved in it. Okay, so next up, if you have Node.js installed in your system, you can come to the desktop and create a new folder. Okay, and let's name it React Practice. Okay, so I have a new folder here, React Practice. So I'll just open this folder, and I'll open a terminal here. Okay, so what I'll be doing is I'll be running a command, that is npm. Npm stands for Node Package Manager. Install Vite @latest. Oh, I've run into an error. Oh, okay. Wait. Instead, I'll just open a new folder in. So as you can see, this command is being executed. Npm install Vite @latest. Okay, so we have installed some files. First, I will just go to the Vite's website. see, there are a lot of ways to install React in your system. Okay, so what I'll do is I'll just go to Vue.js. As you can see, this is the front end tooling. Okay, we'll get started. If we click on get started, we have this. Okay, so we have this command. Okay, I am going to copy this command and I am going to execute it here. Yeah, npm create Vite@latest. So first we need to name our project Vite project. I'm going to name it Vite project, and then we are going to select React from here. Then we are going to select JavaScript. Okay, so as you can see, a Vite project name folder has been created here. Okay, so then we need to do cd Vite project. Then we need to run npm install. So npm install installs the all required modules or packages that will be needing during the development of our React app. Okay, so it's running. So yeah, we have executed this, and then to start the development server, we just need to run the command npm run dev. Npm run dev. Okay. I think.
Can you just show the first command you ran from the website?
Yeah.
You copied from the website.
Yeah. The first command that I ran was npm create Vite@latest. Okay. So it started at the localhost server. Okay, we can follow the link and we can see. So we can see our app is started. So a beautiful website has been created. This is just the basic template. Vite plus React. We have a counter here. Okay, so nothing fancy. Okay, just so let me explain you this folder structure. Okay, so yes, we'll be adding some Tailwind CSS also, but before that I'll be explaining you this folder structure. So we have some node modules here. The node modules folder is actually it has the collection of all the modules that React has. Basically we need a lot of modules. React does not have everything built in it. We'll be importing a lot of things from this node modules folder and be using in our app. Okay, so we have the public folder. Public folder has some has some files like svgs, images, etc, etc. The files in public folder are actually bundled. What do I mean by bundled? They are bundled, like basically they will be accessible from a link. Okay, from an HTML link. But then we have the all these git ignore file. You just need to ignore it. Then we have this index.html. We don't need to touch any of this. Package lock and package.json. These files have all the dependencies, like the versions of all the files, or we can say the packages that we are using. Okay. So we also have package.json. Both have the dependencies. We have Vite configuration. Okay. We have this and this. Okay. So nothing much to worry about it. Okay. So our website is started at the localhost server, as you can see. Okay, so adding Tailwind CSS. So for adding Tailwind CSS, what we can do, we need to delete this and open a new terminal, and we'll do cd Vite project. Okay, and now we'll install Tailwind CSS. Okay, so I'll go on Google and Tailwind CSS. So this is the website of Tailwind CSS. Basically, Tailwind CSS makes it a lot more easier. Basically, what you can see here is generally what we do. So when you see in the source folder here, we have assets. Assets is just like the public folder. You can see here. If we go on to app.jsx, so see, we have this app.jsx file here, a bunch of HTML looking like code. You can see here It is a bunch of HTML like looking code. Okay, so see, we have also imports here. So we are importing useState from React. useState is a hook. I'll be covering that also. We are importing the React logo and the white logo that is used on the website here. Okay, so the thing is we have this a constant useState hook. Okay, I'll be covering this again. Yes, so we have the app.jsx file. It has a lot of content. You can see and we have index.css file. This has the CSS file. Okay, so and we have the main.jsx file. Okay, we are basically rendering a component. Okay, what is a component? You'll see in the slides. I'll explain it there. So basically, we are rendering a component known as app here, and we have app.jsx file here. So basically, app is defined here like a function, as you can see, a function app that returns this whole HTML like looking code. It's not HTML, it's JavaScript XML, and we are exporting this app export default app. So we are exporting this component and we are importing it in main.jsx file, and then we are rendering it. Okay. So why do we use React.strict mode? React.strict mode is basically used for when we are using development environment. So everything is rendered twice here. What they mean by rendering twice? Basically, every app or the component is called twice, so that basically this is a development mode feature. So that basically we can catch errors easily, and basically errors are locked into the console again and again because of this React.strict mode. Okay, so as you can see here, so we'll install Tailwind. Okay, next what we'll be going to, this is the anatomy of the React app. So I have already explained this. Okay, so next what we have is we have components. Okay, so components are functions for user interfaces. Basically, functions, as you all know, they help you to break your code into small reusable pieces. And we have this, for example, we have a math function. We can input anything x, and the function is y equal to fx, and then we can output a number. Okay, so but we have component functions. We are inputting something x, and let y equals to fancy div, basically our div, and its value is x, and it will output an HTML having this tag. Okay, as you can see. Okay, so next we have this. Okay, so anatomy of a React component. Components are just like functions, as you can see here, and inputs in the function through a single argument are called props. We can pass in props to some functions, and it will return this JavaScript XML code. We have HTML and HTML div, and in that HTML div we have some props.names. We have props.name. Okay, basically this is an argument, and then we are passing this argument in the like we are passing this variable basically. Okay, and we HTML, we have my component name equal to something Aaron. So basically this Aaron is passed in the props, and we are accessing it by using props.name, because we have written name here with the my component. Okay, so the function is executed as if it is an HTML tag, and the parameters are passed as HTML attributes to it. Okay, so this function outputs an HTML. Okay, so component rendering, when a component function is executed, we say it is rendered. Okay, assume components may re-render at any time. So our job is to ensure that whenever a component re-renders, the output that we intended to do, like, it is produced. Okay, so in React, everything is a component. Okay, so I'll be starting to make a component here, and I'll be explaining it to you, so you'll understand what exactly is happening. See, this is what I'll be going through. I'll delete all this boilerplate code, okay, which came installed. Okay, so this, I'll also delete this useState hook. Okay, so basically here you can write your HTML code. Okay, so as I'll go to this website and I'll refresh it. Okay, the server is actually closed. I'll make a new server anyways. Okay, I'll go on CD. No, it's Sweet project. npm run dev. So it will start the development server for me. I'll click on the follow link, and yes, everything is deleted from here. I'll also delete everything from this index.css file because it's being included. Okay, so I'll delete it. Then I have app.css file. I'll also delete this app.css file completely. Okay, so that we have a blank page. Yeah, we have a blank page now. Okay, so basically you can write your HTML code here. Let's say I am going to write a div dot. I'm going to give a class name. I'm going to give a name. Okay. So before that, I need to tell you some extensions that will be really helpful to you guys if you install them. Okay. First extension is this simple React snippets. Okay, so it makes it easier to import. Like if we say if we write CCC, it will import a class component with constructor and a lot of features. It has a lot of features. You guys need to install this, so it will be easier to you. Okay, so next up, what I'll be doing is, yeah, here. So first, I'll create a div with a class something name. I'll name it header. Div.header. It is a short form for div class name header. Okay, so as you can see, there is a difference here from HTML. In HTML, we generally write classes and IDs. Okay, ID is same here. We can write div ID. Okay, we can write div ID something as well, but class is not class. We don't write class. We write class name here. Okay, please note that N is capital here. Okay. So why we write class name? We write class name because class is a restricted keyword in React. Okay, so we can't use class. We'll be using class name. Okay, so we have this header, and I'll write something like my name. Okay, so as you can see, my name is being printed here. Okay, I'll zoom it. Okay, so as you can see here, so it's working basically. Okay. So I'll start with creating components. So we want to create a new file here. I click on a new file and I'll name it anything like header dot JSX. Okay, JavaScript XML. Okay, so this we need to create a function here. So as you can see, app.jsx, it is a normal function. Okay, function. We are declaring a function. Its name is app, and then we can pass in any argument here, argument or props here, and then this function will return something. Okay, JavaScript XML code. Okay, so but here I'll be using arrow based functions, like as you would have seen in the slides. So for arrow functions, there is a shortcut which is enabled from that extension that I just showed you. You need to write SFC. If it is enabled, I don't know. Okay, it's not enabled. Okay, I'll write it anyways. I'll write a function const. I'll name it header. Okay, and I will use an arrow method to create this function. Okay, like this is the format. See here, and then I'll do is I'll export. Oh, I'm writing an app.css. I'm so sorry. I need to write header.js. Sorry. So this is so this is stateless function component. Okay, I'll write enter, and it has returned me some boilerplate code. I'll write the name of the function header. Okay, and then yes, it will return something. Okay, so I need to write some props here, and it will return anything. Okay, I'll just yeah. So I will return. Okay, so here I'll write a div, enter, and I'll write a name. For example, I'll write an h1 and I'll write ps1. Okay, I'll write it like this. Okay, so this is our component. Okay, basically this is a reusable piece of code. How is it reusable? You'll understand it after I make some changes. Okay, so this is the basic part. Then I'll be going to app.jsx, and I'll click and I'll write an import statement. Small import header from, I'll write the location /header. Okay, /header. So it is going to import the header function from header component from there, and I'm going to render it here, and I'll write header/close. So this is basically closing tag. Okay, so if I write this or I write this, it means the same thing basically. Okay, so as you can see, my component is rendered here, that I had written basically PS1. Okay, so this is how we use props. Okay, so no, this is how we use components. So moving on to passing the props, okay, into the components. I'll delete this code. Yeah, header.jsx. Okay, so I'll be passing in some props. So I'll write props here. Okay, and PS1, and I'll write this. Okay, and again I'm repeating it again. Inside the curly braces, you can write any JavaScript code. So I am writing props dot name. I am going to get name. Okay, so I'll go to app.jsx file. In header, I'll write name is equal to anything which I want, like I'll write PS2. Okay, just for example, as you can see here, we have PS2 here rendered. Okay, and I can write anything. I can write Cognix here, and it is going to render here. Okay, so this is the basic of using components. Okay, I'll remove it and I'll add that. Yeah, okay, this works. Okay, so we'll go on to header.jsx. This is the usage of basic. This is the usage of props in the components. Okay, so the task can be okay. So special list key property. Okay, this property is very important because so let's say we want to display a dynamic array of elements somewhere. So there must be a special key property to each element, and the key of an item uniquely identifies it, as you know. So React requires a special list key for it to it's used for render optimization. It can be any value, string, or a number. Okay, so what I'll be doing is, so what we'll do is we will create a basic app, to-do list app basically, that will help you to understand form handling. Okay, so we have this. I'll remove this all, and we'll start with creating a basic app. Okay, basic form handling in React. Okay, so what I'll do is I'll start with the header function. Okay, I'll go on to the header component and I'll be writing some code here. Okay, so what I'll be writing is something. Okay, so I'm going to show you another method to pass in some props. Okay, we can write JavaScript code here. We can write some variable names here. Okay, so I'm going to pass an item here. Okay, and what I'm going to return from item, I'm going to return item name. Item name. Okay, and to give some space, I'm using and in BSP. It is used to give some space. Okay, then I'm writing item. Let's keep item.name. Okay, let's keep it item.name. Okay. Yeah. So I'll be going to the app.jsx file. I need to pass in some props in this header function as well. Okay. So at first what I'll do is I'll explain you some hooks. React hooks is another topic which is very important. Okay, so as you can see here, till now nothing is being rendered because I didn't pass any prop here. Okay, so yeah, I'll be so let's understand what is hooks. It's another important topic in React. So hooks are the special functions that allow developers to hook into state and life cycle of React components. So what is state? One or more data values that are associated with the React instance. Okay, so we have some built-in hooks here: the use state hook, use effect hook, use reducer, use memo, use ref, use callback. All these hooks. We'll be covering these two hooks today: use state and use effect hook. These are the most used use effect hooks. Okay, so we have the life cycle, that is the events associated with a React component. Okay, so first React hook, that is use state hook. So the purpose. So it remembers the values internally when a component re-renders and tell React to re-render the component when the value changes. Okay. So what we have is we have this the current value is this is array destructuring method. As I told you earlier, this is the array destructuring method. The we have const the current value, we have set value, a setter function to change the value. Okay, and then we have use state, and this is the initial value which we need to use. Okay, so what I'll do is I'll declare a function basically, and I'll name it const, and I'll be having a value comma new value. This is equals to use state, and at first I'll keep it empty. Okay. So yes. So predicting a component re-rendering. A component will only re-render when the value inside the props change or a use state setter is called. Okay. So this is the case. Okay, and we also have a use effect hook. So I'll be using this use state hook. So now what I'll be doing is I'll be creating an input. Okay, I'll be creating an input type text. Okay, we have an input of type text, and we are going to give an ID to it, and the ID is ID. I'll give it an ID input 1. Okay, then we can call a function here. Okay, on change, I'm going to use on change event handler. Basically, on change event handler, basically it calls the function that I'm going to write here when the input changes. Okay, so what I'm going to do is now I'm going to declare a function here that it is going to call. I'll call this function value change, val change. Okay, and I haven't declared the function yet, so I'm going to declare a function const val change. Okay, this is equal to, again I'm using the arrow method. Okay, yeah, this is the case. Okay, and in header I'm going to pass the name, because I wrote name there, name equal to I am going to write some JavaScript code, that is value here. Okay, so we have this use state. Okay, and I'm going to call a value change. Okay, then we are going to set the new value. I'm calling this the new value to. Okay, so what we'll be doing is basically when we change the input here, there is something happening. Okay, there is some event occurring, so we are going to target that event. Okay, we for targeting an event that is going to happen in the input field, we need to write e here. So I am going to pass in a prop e, and we'll need to set the new value as e dot target dot value. Okay, so this should work. I guess this should work. Okay, so we have some problem here. Item dot name, this is fine, and we have this is also working fine. So what I'll do is, if I cannot figure out what is the problem, I'll go to console and cannot read the properties of undefined reading name. Okay. Oh, I closed it. Okay, I need to open it again. Need to open a new terminal. Huh. So we have here, yes, we have the same error here. Cannot read the value of name null. Okay, I'm going to look at this item, and I am going to change it. Okay, I'm not going to item.name. I'm going to just use item. Okay, this should work. So what we have is, we have something here. If I'm going to write it, it's basically updating on the based off this. What I write here is being updated dynamically, like down. Okay, as you can see it, anything that I write here is being updated. Okay, so this becomes the basic part of building our to-do application. So what I'll be doing is, I am going to enter a button here. I also need to have a button that is going to implement it. Okay, I'll write a button here, and in the button I'll be writing add. So we are going to have an add functionality here. Okay, so basically we can add tasks, and tasks will be shown here. Okay, so what we'll do is, here we have, yes, we have used the useState hook, okay, to change this value. So initially I am going to add some value here. I am going to add an array. I'm going to add an array where we are going to basically store our to-dos, like any task that we need to do, we can store it here in this array. So I'm not going to store any default value here. Okay, and so then this is the value which I'm going to pass. Okay, we have value change e.target.value. Okay, I'm going to create a new function that is known as add value. Add value. This is a new function that I'm going to create. With this function, I'm going to append these values. Okay, append these values in this array. Okay, so what I'll be doing is first add value, and I'll be passing in some props here also. Okay, no, this should work, I guess. Yes. Okay, add value. So in the add value function, I'm going to add the values. So I'm going to set the new value as I'm going to set the new value as the value which I pass in this function. Okay, so what is the value that I'm going to pass in this function? Let me think what can be done easily. Okay, so what I'll do is, I'll create a new object. Okay, so you can understand how we can handle objects also. So see, I'm going to create a new object here. The object will be having a name. The object will be having only just one key value pair. The key value pair will be name. Okay, name, and I am going to keep it empty here for now. Okay, so okay, and then here I am going to declare a new constant. Basically I'm going to declare a new object here. constant new value object, new value object. Okay, and then I'm going to create an object here. Uh, yeah, having name equal to name. Okay, I'm going to pass in some name here as well. Namely, I'm going to keep it val. Okay, yes, I'll keep it a value. Okay, then I am going to go for a new value. I'm going to call this new value function, and I'm going to write new value is, and I'm going to set the new value. Basically, so I'll just name it set new value for like readability. I'm going to set new value. Okay, so set new value. I am going to give it an array where I am going to add new details. Okay, new details. The new, what is the new detail here? The new value object. New value object. Okay, so this is the function. I'm going to delete this value change function, and I'm going to add a button, and on click I'm going to add on click. Okay, and on click I am going to call this function, that is add value. Okay, and as you can see here, what we have is we ran into an error. So val change is not defined. Yeah, I had changed its name. Okay, so I am going to remove it. I am going to remove it. So see, this is what I was going to get. I knew I was going to get this error. Uh, see, what the error states is objects are not valid as a React child. Found object with keys name. If you mean render collection, use an array instead. Okay. So this is okay. We have new value object, and then we have name. This is equal to name. I am going to give it val dot name because it is an object. Okay, okay, see, we have this here, and I'm going to refresh it, and yes, see, I'm writing something here, and I click on add, so nothing happens. Okay, why nothing happens? Because I have not changed the value. Okay, yeah, so I need to pass in the change function as well. Okay, so I am again going to write on change function here, and again change value. Okay, I'm going to redeclare that function change value, and I'm going to again use that arrow method. Okay, and then I'm going to again write the same function, and I need to set new value. Set new value as e dot target dot value. Okay, and if I click on something, if I write something and click on add, it's not working again. Let's see what is the error here. I just need to refresh it, and if I write something here, and okay, we are running into some errors. Okay. I need to give some initial value as well. If I write name here, It is not rendering here actually. We have name. Have name here, and I'm going to this app.jsx file. Uh, and to write that name, and it should be rendered here. I'm passing in an item, and item is item dot name. Let's pass a val here, and I'm going to write item dot name. If I write something and no, it's still not working. Okay. Object with keys name, the same error is there. Okay. So I'm going to pass in an index as well. As I had already told you, this header component. So I need to so because I declared an array here, so we need to render as many items as there are in the array. Okay. So for that we need to have a map function. So you must all know that we have a JavaScript map method. Okay. So what is the map method? We are going to write some JavaScript code here. Okay. So we have an array here. Array's name is val. Okay. So we are going to pass in val, and okay, we'll write val dot map. I'm going to map an item here. Okay, and I'm going to pass in and I'm going to pass in some item here. Okay, map, and we are going to create an arrow function inside it. The arrow function will go on like this. Okay, and like this. Okay, and inside this we are going to return something. Okay, so as you have already seen, I told you earlier that we can return a function within a function. So see, this is the function, and we are going to return, and then inside return we are going to add another return statement. Okay, so this is what I was going through. So next up, what we'll be doing is we'll be rendering our component, that is header. Okay, and I'll be passing in the item which I wrote here. I'll be passing in item which is equal to an item which I am going to get from this function. Okay, and I will also have an index here. So why I am going to declare an index here? Because as I already said, that we have React uses a list key property for render optimization, as you all must know. Okay, so that's why I'm going to pass in an index here as well. Okay, and I'm going to return an item here, and item and index. Okay, so this is the basic code. Okay, and going on to header.js, I am going to write a key here. Okay, I am going to also get an index here, and I am going to write a key here. Okay, key equal to this, and I have an index. Okay, so this is it. I feel this is it. Okay, so this works. Yes. As you can see, we have name printed here. Okay, and if I am going to write another name, oh, if I am going to write, oh, there is some error. Okay, let us see. Value.map is not a function. Okay, value.map is not a function. because I am I'm going to set it e dot target dot value. Yes, and then what we have is mm, we are going to if we are using name as name, okay, and we are using this constant new value object name value, okay, and then if I clear it and let us see, okay, so value dot map is not a function. This is the error that I am getting. Mm, I'm going to return in some statements as well. Okay. Okay. Also, I need to write something here. Okay. I need to write it like div. Right. Okay. And then what I have the name change function, and I have this change val function that is going to set. Okay. Set value as e dot target dot value, and we have set details as new value object. Okay. So if I need to append something to it, I just need to use the spread operator here. Dot value, comma, new value object. This should get us going. Okay. Hmm. If I write something, it just vanishes. It says value dot map is not a function. Item, and I'm passing an item as well as an index in it. Okay, item and index value dot map. Okay. I didn't make a. I need to make a one more useState function. Okay. Now I have this value and new value. I'm using. I just need to add. Okay. I need to add one more use state hook as well to update the name that I have here in this object. Okay, I have this name as name property as I'm going to write something like my name. Okay, as you can see here. Okay, so I need to write one more function. Okay. Yes, I need to write one more use state hook. The another use state hook I'll be writing is const. I'll be writing like I'll write it. I'll name it something like object name, comma set object name. Okay, and I'm going to use a use state hook. Okay, and yes, I'm going to declare it like this. Okay, and this change val function I am going to give set object name. Okay, yeah, this should work. I feel if I add something, this doesn't add. Okay. Found object with keys name. A reference error is not found. Now, if I add something here, click on add. Okay. I did not add a key here. I feel yes. I added the key element, but I have this object with keys name. Okay. So I have the item.name here, and I am going to pass the item as well as I am going to pass an index here. Okay. Mm, yeah, I need to do some more things. I need to add a comma here as well as add a comma here. Then what I am doing is I am doing this set object name. Okay, and then I am going to pass in the the name change function is going to be passed here. That is the change value function, and we have the add value button here. Okay, okay. I am going to pass item index and index here. Okay. Uh, okay, and I have this set name function where I am going to set that set object name. Okay, so object name is actually not called here. Okay. So I need to set this value as object name. Object name. Yeah. Now I feel this should work. So I refresh it and I add some task here. Yeah, it's working. As you can see, as I refresh it, uh, okay, okay. If I enter some any task like do laundry, and I click on add, it gets appended to this array. Okay. So this is the basic functionality that we are implementing in our to-do list app. Obviously, you can style it according to the way you like. Okay, that this looks very basic, obviously, but here I am just going to explain you the working behind it. It's not really about the like styling. You can obviously style your apps according to you. Okay, so next up, what we'll be doing is we will be adding some some more functions as well. So in our to-do list app, we want to delete this list item. Obviously, if you have entered a task and it's done, then we need to have a delete button here. Okay, so I am going to add a delete button as well as the delete functionality. Okay, so for delete button, I'm going to add a delete button here. Okay, in this map function. Okay, because because as you can see, for every value in this array, this is an array of objects. As you can see, val is an array of multiple objects. For every object that I create in this array, I'm going to require a delete button. So that is why I am going to add a delete button here. Okay, and I'll write button and I'll write delete. Okay, and for delete button, I am going to call a function. Okay, so what I am going to call, I'm going to click on click. So I am going to declare an arrow function here. What I'll be doing is in this arrow function, I'll call a function delete. Okay, I'll call a delete function here. Okay, and I am going to keep it like this. Okay, delete function. let's keep it delete val. Delete val. I'm going to write a delete val. Okay. This is a function delete val that I'm going to declare it now. Okay. So for deleting any item, we need to pass in the index of that item. Okay. As you can see, it's just same as arrays. When arrays have different indexes, just like that, we are going to pass in an index in it as well. Okay. So I'm going to pass in an index so that it can identify which item it needs to be deleted. Okay, so we have this delete button. Basically we have this delete button here. Okay, and obviously, okay, yes, so what we'll do here is I'm going to declare a new function, the same method. I am going to declare delete val function. Okay, and no, I am going to do it like the JavaScript arrow method. Yes, so this is the delete value function, and I am going to pass in the index as well. Okay, so I will pass in an index here. Okay, so now what I'll do is I will click on details dot filter. I'm going to use the filter method. Okay, so JavaScript filter method. You all must be knowing the filter method. So I am going to filter this value array. Okay, so what is it? It is val dot filter, and I am going to yes, I'm going to do val dot filter. What I'll be passing in it, I'll be passing an arrow function here. In the arrow function, I'll be declaring an element, comma, the index that I was passing in it. No, we'll get confused with the index. I guess I can write it as any value I. Okay, and what we are going to do, we are going to what this function does is it basically checks if this index is equal to some I. Okay, and it filters that array accordingly. Okay, uh, yes, then it filters the array accordingly, and okay, so I'm going to write this I should be strictly not equal to the index that I passed in this function. Okay, this is the logic that I'm going to write, and I am going to copy it, and then I am going to write. I'm going to set new value. I'm going at the set new value function. Set new value, and then I'm going to pass this. Okay. Uh, yes. This should work. Okay, if I click on delete, if I write something and click on add and delete doesn't work. Let us see if we have an error. If we have an error, okay, the delete button is not working, I guess. I'm going to pass in the index. We have element is not being used, and then we have the set details function. I am going to set new value. Okay, this button is okay. It is getting that index from here, and it is calling the function delete value. Delete. Okay. I am not able to log anything here as well. I want to write something. I am not able to delete it. Okay. So what I'll be going to do is Yeah, I guess I forgot to put in this. Okay, so I'll write some hello. I'll click on add, and when I click on delete, it gets deleted. But the thing is that the whole things get deleted. So if I add some name and I add some more names, okay. When I click on delete, all gets deleted. Okay. This is strictly not equal to index. I need to render that. Okay, so this is what I was going to do. Okay, I can try to do it another way. What I can do is I'm going to use the set new value. No? Yes, new value object. Okay, and now I'm going to use the set new value function. Okay, I can do it another way. Let's do it another way. I'm just going to comment it out, and I am going to click on this, and I'm going to implement it, and I'll declare a new const or what I can do is I can I guess it should be done this way only. Other methods won't work. Value should not be equal. Index should not be equal to this. Okay, and we need to call this function val.filter. Yeah, I guess this should work. Don't find anything problematic here. To write hello, it is okay. For delete value, I'm going to set delete this function. Okay, and I'm passing in the index as well as I'm going to create val.filter. Okay, and I'm going to pass the elements, and this should not be equal to index. Okay, this should work. Okay. Because actually I figured out my mistake. I by mistake I passed the index value here, which need not be passed. Okay, so without that it should work. Okay, as we can see here, if I entered any task like do laundry, okay, and I click on add, it gets added. When I click on delete, it gets deleted. So this was the basic CRUD application, basic application that we have built. Okay, obviously styling you can do with yourself. Okay, so this is delete and add. Okay, so we also need to have some more functionality to this. Okay, what functionality I need to add? I guess what we can do is we can add an edit button also. Okay, so for edit, I am going to add an edit button where I can edit the existing detail of any row. Yeah, okay, so here I am going to add. Okay, so this app is deleted. Okay, yeah, okay. Also when we click on add, this value should be reset. Okay, we need to implement that as well. For that, what we would do is, as you can see, we have an input here. I'm just going to zoom it a bit so that it is visible. Yeah. So as you can see, we have an input ID input 1 and type text, and on change we are going to call this change value function. Okay. When then we have this ID as input 1. Okay. When we click on add value function, the value inside that input field should be like reset. Okay. So for that, what we'll do is yes, we'll create document dot get element by id, just basic javascript, nothing much. Okay, and I'm going to add it as input 3. Okay, dot value, we are going to reset it value which is equal to blank. We are going to keep the value blank. As you can see, if I add any task like do, okay, and we are going to click on add. Okay, we are run into some errors. Setting value we have, okay, oh, input, it was input 1 not 3. Okay, if we click on add to laundry, yeah, it gets reset. Okay, so there is no problem in that. We can delete the task here. Okay, yeah, so this is it, and now I am going to add a edit button so that we can edit an existing task that we created. Okay, we are going to add a button here again, and I am going to click on edit, and I'm going to write it edit, and I am going to call another function that is on click. I am going to call a function, yeah, and in this again I am using the arrow method, and I am going to add this function which I would name as edit, edit value, edit val. Okay, and again I am going to pass in an index as well. Okay, I'm going to pass in the index of the item as well. Okay, and I am, okay, so here we add a task, and we have delete and edit both buttons. Okay, I have not yet created a function for that. Now let's create a function. Const edit value, which is equal to this index. Yes. Okay, now what we are going to pass in an index here, and rest for edit value. What we'll do is we will create a new basically a new object. Okay, I'll write it const edited. I'll name it as edited. This should be equal to, I'm just using this method again, the filter method. Okay, yeah, and but instead of not equal to, I am going to set it as equal to. Okay, so after that what I'll do is I'll obviously get this document.get element by id. I'm going to target that input value field, so, and set its value as edited. But let's first see what edited thing I'm going to get. So I'm going to console.log edited. Okay, I'm going to console.log edited, and let us see what we get here. If I click on edit, what I am going to get here at console, I'm going to refresh it. If I click on edit, okay, so I'm getting something. Basically I'm getting an I am getting an array. I think I'm getting an array. Yeah, I'm getting an array with an object that has name. I'm getting an array. So what I'll do is I will click on, I'll get document.get element by id. I'll paste it here, and the value I'll set it as edited 0 dot, I'm going to get that name here. Okay, this name parameter, as you can see here. Okay, yes. Also, after this, we need to delete that detail also. Otherwise, it would create duplicate. Like as you can see here, as if we try. Okay, I have this. I'm going to click edit, and if I edit it and write 2 here and click on add, so it is adding as a new element. Instead, I want to create, I want to make changes in this element only. Okay, in this task only. So what I will be doing is here I'll be calling the delete value function again. Okay, I'll be calling the delete value function, and I am passing the index here. Okay, so I'll be deleting that index. Okay, so let us see. If I click on edit, it gets deleted. I'll write something and it gets added as a new element. Okay, okay, so there is no problem here. Okay, I can delete this as well. Also, I can try to make it work without using any default values. So we have this, and we have, if I write my name here, it gets, I can edit it. Okay, and I can delete it as well. Okay, okay, so this was the basic functionality of a to-do app. Okay, we can write anything here, like do laundry. Okay, and we can add like do dishes. Oh, I mean wash dishes, anything else. Okay, so like this. But if we refresh this, they all get deleted. Okay, because we haven't connected this front end yet to any backend or any other like local storage and all. So this problem will remain. Okay, so what I'll be doing is, now I'll tell you how to handle APIs in React. Okay, so next API calls. Okay, so for API calls, we'll be using a library known as Axios. Okay, it is a relatively very like easy to use library for creating get post requests. Okay, so basically, I would like to explain you like what you must be knowing, like what is a get or a post request. So I'll be using that. Okay, so what I'll be doing is, here I am going to install Axios. Okay, so I'll delete this terminal, and I'll open a new terminal here. And in the new terminal, I am going to write cd vite project. Yes, and I am going to write npm install Axios, but first let's open the documentation of Axios. Okay, Axios. Okay, yes. Okay, getting started. We have the Axios docs. Okay, installing. This is the command that we need to run to install Axios. Okay, using npm node package manager. Axios. npm run Axios. So it is being executed. Let's wait for the installation. As you can see, Axios has been installed. So let's start working with it. Also, I'll be writing npm run dev to start the development server again. Okay, so this development server I need to close. Yeah, this is started. So yeah, I will import Axios. Import, sorry for the spelling, import Axios from Axios. Okay, so I have imported the Axios. Okay, and now what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a use effect hook. Okay, so I'll just quickly explain you what is use effect hook. I'll open the slides. Yes, here. So we have the use effect hook here. So the purpose of use effect hook is to just act like an observer, running the code in response to the value changes. Okay, so the syntax is use effect. and then we have console.log. The so as you can see, this is basically use effect hook usage, and using the use effect hook, we are calling an arrow function. An arrow function is just as you know, and then these lines are going to be executed. Console.log, my value is changed, new value is this value which I have appended here. Okay. Okay, so and I'm going to pass in second parameter as well. That is this array my value. This is a list of values such that changes should trigger this code to run. Basically, the thing is that whenever the my value changes, this use effect hook will catch that and run this code that is written here. Okay, basically run this function. Okay, so I'm going to create a use effect hook here. Okay, so what I'll be doing is I'll be creating a use effect hook. Yes, use state hook. Yeah, use effect hook. Use effect. I'm going to import it here. We need to import use effect hook also. Use effect. Here it is. I'm going to import it use effect hook, and then I'm going to create a const use effect. No, not const. I am just going to use effect hook. Okay, use effect hook, and then what we are going to do is I am going to call an arrow function here, and the arrow function what we'll do is this. Okay, and I am going to pass an empty array here just for now. Okay, the second parameter that the use effect had to see for the function execution. Okay, so I am going to take a get request, Axios dot get. I'm going to create a get request here. Okay, so now I need an API. Okay, so what I am going to do is I am going to use a fresh API. I'm going to create. I'm going to go on crud. I'm going to click on Google, and I'm going to write crud.com. Basically, this is instant API at endpoints. This is a create, read, update, and delete. That basically CRUD API that we can use. We can check endpoint information. We from this website is actually very helpful for front-end developers to test their like CRUD skills. Basically, that they can either use create, read, update, or delete requests. Okay, so we have 100 requests in this API. Okay, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to create something here. So these are the methods that we can use. Basically, this is what we can do. We can create, read. We can also with read we can get a single entity from that. Okay, from the server, from the backend, and then from the database. Okay, so we have to create a unicorn here at first. Okay, and it creates this element basically as the default one. Okay, as you can see. So I'm going to use this API here. I'm going to click on this. Okay, no, I did not copy the API. Yeah, I need to copy this. Yes, so I have pasted this API here. So what Axios.get, basically this function, what this function does is it gets basically it is just the same as get request that you do in generally API testing. You guys must have used Postman, and that in that you can see we have the get methods to basically read read from the database the files that we are going to fetch. Okay, we are going to say .then. Okay, and then we are going to use res. Okay, and this. Okay, so basically res means the response that we are going to get, and after getting the response we are going to set that response to we are going to set that response, okay, as set new value. Okay, I'm going to call the set new value function. So basically I'm setting the new value which I am getting from the database, and response dot data, the response that I'm going to get. Okay, so if I open this page, we have this Sparkle Angel. As you can see, Okay, even if I refresh it, I am always able to get this Sparkle Angel. Okay, why I am getting this Sparkle Angel, because as if you can see on this CreditCard website, they basically they have a unicorn record like this. It has the name of Sparkle Angel. Okay, so that's why I'm getting this. Okay, so next what we'll do is um, we'll add. Okay, so I need not only get request, I need to use the post request also. Okay, so for post request what I can do is I'm going to I'm going to add a new function in this add value function. Okay, what I'm going to add is this. I am going to do a post request using Axios dot post. Okay, Axios dot post, and we can use this. And I am going to create this. Yeah. Okay. This. Yes. This. Okay. So the Axios dot post request takes two parameters. First is the API link. API link that we are using here, comma, what we need to post there. Okay, so we need to post this new value object there. So new value object. Okay, we are new value object. Okay, so we are going to post a new value object there. Okay, so yes, I'm going to post a new value object there. Yes. So what happens here is if I refresh it, I'm going to get Sparkle Angel. If I write do laundry, and if I add it, it gets here. And even if I refresh it, it doesn't disappear. So from this, you can obviously know that we have successfully created these tasks and send it to the backend server and then to the database, because even if after refreshing the website, these we can use them. Okay, so I'll also try to keep a track on my endpoint so that it doesn't get exhausted. I've used 32 requests, obviously. Okay, so next what we will do is for delete, yeah, for delete, what we need to do is if I click on delete, I'm so sorry. Okay, yeah, this. If I click on this delete function, okay, it gets deleted from here for now. But when I refresh this, it is again fetched, because I'm not deleting it from the database. I'm just deleting it from locally here. Okay, so what I need to do is I need to delete it from the database as well. So for that, I'll go on this credcred.com and I'll see this delete information. Yeah, we have this delete an entity option here. Okay, so we have this delete an entity option here, and how do we delete it? As we can see, we need to parse in an ID as well. Okay, so what this CRUD does is it creates its own ID for each element that I am going to pass. Remember, this ID is actually different from this index that we are here using here. Index is what React uses to index its elements locally, but ID is actually going to be a parameter with name. Okay, to just need to for the verification, I'm going to open postman.com, and I am just going to test this API and check whether I am correct or not. So I am going to go on my workspace, and I am going to click on history. I'm going to click on this request, and I am going to enter a URL. Okay, we have this CRUD URL here. Okay, I'm going to copy it, and then yeah, I need to paste it here, and I'll do a get request here. So here, as you can see, it says status is okay, and you can see there we have two elements, but as you can see here in our code, we just defined only object with only one parameter, that is name. Okay, but here you can see in the Postman, it is performing the GET request. We get an ID here as well. So what CreditCard.com does is it actually appends a random ID with it as well. Okay, so that it can identify which JavaScript basically object we are going to target. Okay, so what I'll do is I will need an ID as well. Okay, so for delete detail function, I'm going to go in this delete value. Oh, sorry, delete value function, and I am going to write axios dot delete, axios dot delete. Yes, and then I am going to pass in the value this. Okay, and here I've passed in this. Now the second parameter. No, I want to add the ID of the element. Okay, the ID of that element. Okay, so what I'll do is I'll give a slash here. I am going to also get an underscore ID. Okay, delete value function. I'm going to pass in an underscore ID as well, and I also need to pass an ID here as well. So what I'll do is I'll pass underscore dot underscore ID, not underscore ID. I'm going to actually add the item dot ID. Okay, and we need to add item dot ID because it is the property of an item. Okay, so see, yes, we have got an ID here. So what I'm going to do is I need to add this. So I'll do plus and I'll convert it into a string, and then I will created this, and I have underscore ID. Okay, so this is what we'll do for delete. Okay. Yeah, yes, this is okay. So if I click on delete, it gets deleted from here. If I refresh it, yeah, it gets deleted from the server as well. You can confirm it when you run this Postman request. It gets deleted successfully. Okay, so this is the basic functioning of a CRUD app that I just built. Okay, so in the edit functionality also, uh, here I'm not using the put request. We can use the put request as well for editing. Okay, the update request. Okay, but uh, according to what we have done, I can put this as well. I can put this delete statement here as well, and it would be fine. Okay, because that's what my logic is actually doing. Here also my logic is actually delete. I'm actually calling the delete value function now. So I can use delete request here as well, and it would work just as fine. Okay, I'm going to use this delete request, and it should work fine. Again, if I click on if I refresh it, I click on delete, it gets deleted. Yes. So if I add something like do laundry and I click on add, it gets added. Okay. So see what I need to pass an ID here as well. Okay, in this function as well, I will pass an underscore ID here, and here I am also going to pass an item underscore ID. Okay, my item dot underscore ID. Okay, so this is what I am doing. Okay, so here I have do laundry, and if I do a get request, okay, I am going to get this do laundry. Okay, and if I click on edit it, it gets edited, and if I click on do laundry 2, and do laundry 2 gets appended. So if I it's do laundry 2, and it basically it works. Okay, so now I have told you how to handle APIs and all. So the next part, when we come to the next part is just basically deployment. Okay, so for deployment, what we are going to do, I'm going to use Vercel for deploying this app. Okay, so how we are going to deploy this app, I am going to click on terminal and click on new terminal. Okay, and I am going to write cd read project C. So this is what I am going to do. Okay, uh, yeah. So for deploying your app, you just need to run a few commands. Okay. At first, before pushing your code into production, it is always recommended that you basically test it in production before you are actually pushing it into the your main site, or I could say the main domain. Okay, for testing it, you can actually use this command npm run build. So it's going to create an optimized build version of your React app. Okay, so basically, see, we have a new folder here which is called as dist, and it has the static assets of your React app as well as some HTML file is there, and a JavaScript file is also there. Okay, so for checking if this folders app works, we need to install another React library that is called as serve. Okay, I am going to open that documentation for you. Okay, Google serve React build, serve React build. Okay, so that we have deployment. Okay, so serve React package. Uh, yeah, we have this serve. Okay, if we open this, we have opened the npm JS. We have this serve package. This helps you to serve a static site, a single page application. Okay, it's very helpful when to test your app. It's very helpful. You need to test your app before going into production. Okay, so what I'll do is I'll install this. I'll install this also. I'll install npm I for install serve. Okay. So I'm just going to serve. I'm going to write the command serve, and after serve, we need to write the folder that we need to just test, that is deploy. I will serve dist, and as you can see here, okay, our app is live at localhost 300. Click on this, and then yes, we have our app, and it's working. We need to delete. We need to add something. We need to add something. Okay, and I can add. I can add something. Okay, it's working. If I send a get request at Postman, I'm also able to get the same. So this means our app is working actually. So what we will be doing is next. What we'll be doing is yeah. Okay. So this is done. This means your app is actually perfectly working. Okay. So what you now need to do is you just need to okay, so if you have installed Git in your system, okay, I am going to tell you very easy way to deploy your React app to GitHub. I mean, basically add your React app to GitHub repository, and then we'll be using Vercel to connect our GitHub, and from Vercel we'll be hosting this React app. Okay, so what we'll be doing is you can if you have installed Git in your system, you should have get this option, source control option. You click on source control. Okay, I'll just expand it a bit. Okay, so I will be needing to initialize a new repository here. Okay, so as you can see, these are the changes that I did. Okay, these are all the files that are uncommitted. U stands for the uncommitted changes that we have done. Okay, I need to write a commit message. Generally, when we are using a new repository, we just write first commit. Okay, and then I'll click on commit. Okay, I'll just click on yes, and the changes are going to be okay. I need to publish this branch now. Okay, yeah, I have this React practice, so I can push it to a public or private repository. This is my GitHub ID. I have already connected my GitHub account to this. It's very easy. You just need to install Git in your system, and after that, when you first open VS Code, it will automatically prompt you to set up this option. Okay, and then you can add your GitHub profile as well as password in that, and it automatically connects. Okay, so I'm going to publish this GitHub to a private GitHub repository. So files are uploading. Meanwhile, I am going to open my GitHub here. I'm going to open my GitHub account here. I have created my profile. Yeah, I have. So as you can see, I have this React practice private repository here, and okay, yeah, okay. So I did this. Okay. So at first I thought, okay, we have this React Feed project. Okay. So what I am going to do is now we'll be opening Vercel. Okay, Vercel. You just need to log in on Vercel. I'm already logged in. So what I'll do is I'll click on this. I have a lot of repositories here. I'll click on this add new. I'll click on adding a new project. Okay, and I have this React practice which I just created. It automatically fetches your GitHub repositories. I just need to click on import. Okay, and I need to add this root directory. I am going to select this root directory as Vite project because I have created this Vite project as the repository here. Okay, so I just need to click on deploy, and it is running. Yeah, so as you can see, our site is published. Okay, and if we go to this website, we can see that our app is working. Okay, and even you all can visit this website and check if the app is working or not. I can add anything like, for example, do laundry, and I can add it, and it works. Obviously it works, and I'm going to send a get request at Postman to check if it works. Yes, it works. So our app is successfully working, and we have deployed it to Vercel. It's just as simple as that. Nothing much to worry about here. Okay, so if I am not wrong, I guess I have completed the major part. Okay. Yeah. So for the other things like what we can do, I can just open Axios and tell you what Axios is. For this Axios library, we are we have this Axios API and all. I have already told you how to do get and post requests. Okay, so we have, you can just go through this Axios. It has a lot of features. I have just used the basic implementation of this. Okay, so I have told mostly I've told you everything about this API and how to send request. This is all this is another syntax for doing the get or post request. We can use this post method. We can post any data here. Also, if you want to add any file to this API and then get it, either you can do it from code. Okay, for code you can obviously check the documentation here. Okay, from you can also do it from Postman if you want. for just testing purposes. You can go on Postman, and I'm going to create my workspace. Okay, and here what I can see is there I have this API. Okay, we have this API. If we want to add something, if we want to post something here, we can post this using Postman as well. Okay, you need to write something that you want to post in this body here, and it will get posted. Okay, you can also add some headers. If we like, if you want to post something, you can go and click on post. If you want to post something on on this API, what we'll do is we'll add some like name. I'm going to add a name key. Okay, and in the value section you can add anything like basically you can add anything here, and then we have these parameters option. You have these parameters as well. Okay, and yeah, that is I guess pretty much it. We can clear the response from here, and as you can see if we go to this body here, and I want to and if I want to add this data here, I'm going to just delete the name. Okay, first I'll get the request. Okay, and yeah, we have this wash dishes and do laundry, and I am going to create a new task here. The task is study React. So this is study React, and I am going to send a post request here, so it will automatically get added there. Okay, yeah, so we have got status 201. This means this is created. We can obviously go on Vercel again and see if our React site has. Okay, so we have this React practice. Yeah, okay, so as you can see, we have a lot of things here. Okay, and a lot of you have already added these. Okay, I know, I see. Okay, so this is I guess this is it from my side.